It is the most wonderful time of year. It is A-League finals time, the Elimination finals this weekend. We're going to be talking about the two matchups, Western United hosting Adelaide United and Western Sydney Wanderers taking on Melbourne Victory. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. What's your thoughts, feelings, and even predictions for the scorelines heading into this weekend? Obviously, these are intense matches, do or die. Only two teams can go through from these two matches. Let's focus on Western United versus Adelaide United first of all. Two teams who have had fascinating seasons. Not many people expected Western United to be competing towards the top of the ladder, but they've had a great campaign, finishing third, 47 points total, plus 18 on the goal difference as well. And Adelaide United, a really roller coaster season for them. They were so good for the first few months of the season. And it was around January when we were talking about this Adelaide team being a contender for silverware this season. And their drop-off from that point was just astonishing, the way they slipped down the ladder and so nearly missed out on finals football. Sydney FC is struggling in the last couple of games, meaning that Adelaide were able to just hold on to the sixth spot. Finish the campaign with 38 points, -2 on the goal difference. And that, obviously that goal difference and the points, that's where it really started to drop off for those last couple of months of the season. Some really shaky performances from the Reds, but they did do enough to earn themselves a spot in finals based off the season they have had overall. They were very good in the early parts of the campaign, and they are going to need to rediscover that form that helped them so much in the early parts of the 2024-25 season if they are going to defeat this Western United team. Looking at the head-to-head between these two teams, two meetings from this past season, a 2-1 win for the Reds, that was back in November, and then February saw Western defeat Adelaide 3-0 in Tarneit. Of course, this is the first time we are seeing an A-League men's finals game being played at Western Stadium there in Tarneit. I want to talk about the two lineups and maybe some matchups we could see, and we'd love to hear from you guys as well if you think there's any key matchups that we should be keeping an eye on in this game as well. Obviously, for Western United, you're looking at Noah Botic, who has scored 12 goals this season, 6 assists for him as well. He's been partnering Michael Roos for the last couple of games with Hiroshi Ibusuki out with injury, but Ibusuki has been included in the team sheets for this week, so we could see the Japanese striker start alongside Botic, which is that strike partnership we have seen a lot. But midfield is the real key area. Western United have been dominant in the midfield area for many of the games this season. Angus Thurgate and Reece Bozanowski have put together a fantastic season, the two of them. 5 goals for Bozanowski this season, to just the 2 goals for Thurgate, 5 assists for him though. Two really hard-working midfielders, and Adelaide's midfield, who is pretty young themselves as well, and Jay Barnett and Ethan Allegich as well. Obviously, you've got the experience of Stefan Mork in there also. They're really going to need to be on their game to try and keep these guys quiet, to keep them off the ball, because Bozanowski, Thurgate, once they get things moving, get releasing those attackers, Western are hard to stop. We've seen that so many times this campaign. Those attackers are so dangerous when they are flying forward. So some key players to watch out for there. So for the Reds, it's going to be how can they try and nullify Western's dangerous attack. I'm looking at Bart Vreens and Kikianis as well, the centre-back partnership for the Reds, who were really solid for the first few months of the season. This is just the narrative that we've seen this season from Adelaide. They were so good all around for those first few months, but they have been conceding a lot of goals in the last couple of months. Adelaide United, they have to sort that out. Obviously, the goalkeeper situation has been chopping and changing. They've had a few different goalkeepers now this season, Adelaide United. But Tuli's been starting the last couple of games. Did have a good game against Melbourne City a couple of weeks back. But Kikianis, Bart Vreens, I'm keeping an eye on those two guys. This is a big game for them to step up and really shut down, an exciting young striker in Noah Botic and keep him quiet. Because obviously, again, we saw in that last time these two teams met 3-0 for Western United. We've seen multiple times through this season as well, them scoring 3-4 goals in a game, many occasions Western United. So a huge game for Adelaide's defenders. For my score prediction, I'm going for a Western win. I just feel like, based off what we've seen in recent months overall, I think Western should be getting the win here, especially at home. They've been so effective at home this season. I think it will be a reasonably comfortable win in the end. I'm going to go 3-1 win for Western United. Maybe we could see some late goals fly in. Of course, we shouldn't forget we did see Western defeat Auckland FC, the premiers, last week at home as well. So I think Adelaide are massive underdogs heading into this game, based off just what we've seen from them, again, in the last few rounds, the way that they've really slipped down and just snuck into finals. But look, Adelaide certainly have the firepower. We should mention that Archie Goodwin will be up, but Luka Ivanovic is there. Zach Clough has provided plenty of goals and assists this season, and Stefan Mork is a threat as well. So Adelaide do have the firepower, but Western, I think they get the win for me. Let's talk about the next elimination final, because these are two of the biggest clubs in the competition. Western Sydney Wanderers and Melbourne Victory. 4th versus 5th. Looking at the A-League men's ladder, Wanderers finishing the campaign 46 points. Just 3 points behind them were Melbourne Victory on 43 points. Western Sydney Wanderers, there's a real energy around that club at the moment, isn't there? There's just the way that they've been performing this season, and again, especially for the last 10 weeks or so. Just this incredible undefeated run that they've gone on, and there's a real exciting vibe around Wanderers. You know, we saw that last game of the regular season when they were playing that derby match away to Macarthur FC, and just the number of Wanderers fans that were filling up those away bases, just awesome to see. And there's a real optimism surrounding Western Sydney heading into this final series. We know they were in the finals a couple of years ago. They had that Sydney derby game in the elimination final at home and lost that one, so they'll have memories of that game and want to make sure they put in a better performance this time around. It's obviously been a long time since Wanderers have won a finals match. You know, we're thinking back to their early years when they were so good in those first few seasons, qualifying for grand finals. Can this Wanderers side, Alan Stagic's Wanderers, make it all the way to the grand final? Look, Melbourne Victory, a funny season for them as well. They finished 5th. At times this season they looked really good, and I've said it many times this campaign, I think they have the best squad depth in the competition. You look at the players who aren't even playing or even making the bench for them, they've got some serious talent, some fantastic young players, and some really experienced A-League players as well who aren't even making the bench for them at the moment. They've got a fantastic squad. For me, this has been a pretty average season considering Melbourne Victory and the size of the club and the players they have at their disposal. Yes, there have been, changes going on. Obviously, Patrick Isnorbo leaving suddenly early on in the campaign. Arthur Dillis has done an okay job to steady the ship, finishing in 5th place, and a tough trip away in this elimination final to Wanderers. And they'll be really disappointed, Victory, if they were to drop out in this game. 2 meetings between these two sides this season: Melbourne Victory 2, Wanderers 2. That draw back at the start of the year, and then Wanderers 4, Melbourne Victory 2, the big win for Wanderers in March as well. So Wanderers had that little bit of an advantage, a mental advantage, if you like, heading into this game, knowing that they were able to put 4 goals past this Victory side just a couple months ago. In terms of Wanderers and what we can see from them in their lineup, I don't think we'll see too many changes from them. They've been pretty stable for the last few months now. Just a couple of changes here and there, but we have seen Borrello and Sapsford leading the line. Obviously, Milanovic, he's the danger man for them. 12 goals, 6 assists this season in the A-League men's. Cry has been really effective off that left-hand side as well. We've seen Alex Gersbach come into that left-back role as well. And Pantanzopoulos, he scored a goal last time out against Macarthur SC. It's been a real breakout season for Anthony Pantanzopoulos, and he's been a rock at the back for Western Sydney Wanderers. And looking at Melbourne Victory, obviously we know Ren Episcopoulos can be back in the mix for this week, which is a boost for Victory. But it's a blessing and also a curse for Arthur Dillis, the Victory coach, isn't it? Because he's got so many good players to choose from, whether it's Velupile, Arzani, Santos on the wing, Piscopo, Machash. We know Batilado's been at Victory. Obviously, Batilado won't be involved in this game as he is, on loan from Western Sydney Wanderers. And Nikos Virgos, keep an eye on him. He's been good for Victory this season, 7 goals, 3 assists. And obviously another hard-working midfield duo in Ryan Teague and Jordi Valadon, the midfield duo that helped Melbourne Victory get to the grand final last season also. So, in terms of a key matchup to watch out for, I'm looking at Nishan Velupile on that left-hand side for Melbourne Victory, coming up against Gabriel Kleur, who's been really solid at right back. One of the more underrated players in the A-League this season. Looking at Kleur's stats as well, 7 assists for this season, just the 1 goal, but 7 assists from right back is a pretty decent record, and just a really consistent, solid performer defensively, really solid and all-round good quality right back. And that'll be a fascinating matchup to watch. Because Nishan Velupile, we've seen him at times this season, even when he came back from Socceroos duty, where he really, his game went to another level. And I think if he can find that this final series, Victory could be a real threat in this final series. So that could be a key matchup to watch out for as well. In terms of my score prediction for this one, Wanderers, I think, will be favourites. But this one could well go to extra time. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Victory, they certainly, I don't think we'll see the same scoreline that we saw last time these two teams met, that 4-2 scoreline. I think Wanderers do get the job done in the end. I'm going to say maybe 3-2, maybe another high-scoring, entertaining game. You've got two really high-quality teams here, and I'm sure it's going to be an incredible atmosphere at Wonderland for this game. But there's my prediction for these two games. I reckon the two home teams will be going through. And if that is the case, we will then get in the semi-finals, Melbourne City versus Western United, two Melbourne teams. And then that would see Auckland FC play Western Sydney Wanderers, two mouth-watering semi-finals matchups if we do get them in the end. So let me know your predictions and your thoughts in the comment section. Join the comment section, hit the like button on the way out, and make sure to subscribe for more A-League content right here. My name's Lockie, this is Oz Watch Football, and I'll see you in the next one.